What's up? It's Caroline. I have not been here in this space for several months. I've gotten a few messages asking if I was okay and where I was, and I figured that meant it was absolutely time for an update, and I wanted to essentially talk about three things in this video. One, just an update on where I've been. Two, a request for a project I'm working on, and three, address someone's question that they asked me a really long time ago, and I said I would make a video for it. So I'm gonna bullet point through those things, and I just wanted to give that overview for folks watching. But to start out with where I've been, I am in graduate school, in journalism school, and it's an extremely intense one-year-long program, and it started in mid-August, so that's pretty much been my entire life since then. So I'm healthy, I'm doing really well, minus extreme stress and how that manifests into, like, you know, how that can affect eating schedules for any normal human being has been the only really update I would have. And also I noticed that when I'm really stressed, my body image is not at its height of happiness. But so I don't know if folks have thoughts on that, but so that's my body empowerment, eating disorder recovery update, as well as my life update. So because of the graduate school program I'm in, my videos will be, you know, less frequent than they had been in the last 2 years, but I hope that now that I'm back in the game with this video, I can look towards doing some videos more often. And one thing that can help that is with your questions. So any questions people have about recovery, please let me know. Which brings me to number two. So like I said, I'm in journalism school, and I am working on putting a book together. I want to share recovery stories. I've done a lot of my own sharing, and now that I'm learning how to write and share other people's stories, I want to highlight recovery stories. The minority of people with eating disorders recover, and that to me, and I'm sure to many of you, is way too low of a number. So my hope is that in compiling people's narratives and talking about treatment centers and methods that are out there, somehow that can help to raise the recovery rate and lower the number of eating disorders to begin with. That said, I am looking for characters to profile in the book. So if you or anyone else you know, especially if you're in the New York area or on the East Coast, but New York would be awesome because that's where I am, that's where I live, please let me know if you would be willing to share your story, to be a character. That would mean in-person interviewing and most likely speaking with friends, family, other people that have been a part of your recovery process and can share their side and their perspective to help give a full spectrum of your experience in recovery. So if you would be willing to be one of those characters for my story, please let me know as soon as possible. ASAP, send me a message and let me know, and that would be incredible. Thank you. And the third thing is the question I received in the beginning of October, which was, "Hi Caroline, so when you sit with your emotions, how do you keep from dwelling on the negatives that got you sitting in the first place? I don't know whether to try and distract myself or to let the panic pass through, which is suffocatingly difficult." So, having been in grad school the last 3 months, I have had very many moments of panic and stress, getting assignments done on time, meeting deadlines, and I have never in my life been more challenged with sitting with really intense emotions. Even when I was at the height of my eating disorder, this is like a whole nother beast. So, hopefully because I'm in a space of recovery, I can give perspective on what those sitting with feelings feels like without connecting it to an eating disorder, which I feel may be useful. So, suffocatingly difficult sounds about right, but from my own experience, when I sit with my emotions, when I let them pass through, they're gone pretty quickly. When I, for lack of a better word, feed the emotions by getting more and more panicked, it grows. I mean, it's literally, for lack of a better metaphor, like it is feeding a beast. You know, like if you are freaking out and stressed and anxious and you build on that anxiety, it gets so big you don't know what to do with it. And, you know, it's like a balloon that you're blowing up with air. So let's say I have anxiety and I start like blowing up the balloon. I wish I had a balloon with me to give the example. And I start blowing it up with air, and then I get more anxious, more air, more air, more air. Eventually it's going to pop. And then the balloon spread everywhere. And then I have to pick up the pieces of the balloon, and it's impossible to put, you know, a balloon back together. Rather, had I sat there, noticed that I was blowing air of anxiety into this balloon, paused for a second, what's going to happen? When I pause and take my fingers off of the front of the balloon, it's going to deflate, right? So that's the best metaphor I can give to, it's the same thing with emotions. If you know, feed it more energy, it's going to eventually explode and pop. But if you pause, step away from it, sit down, let go of your fingers from the front of the balloon, it's going to deflate. And then you move on to the next thing. I hope that helps. If that isn't concise and detailed enough, please let me know, and I will be happy to enhance and extrapolate on that thought. So anyway, I hope everyone out there is well. Thank you to everyone for staying in touch over these last several months. And I hope there are people out there that are interested in sharing their stories. So please get in touch with me as soon as you can if you would like to be someone profiled sharing your story. And let me know your questions. And I hope everyone's doing really well. Bye.